Hey everyone, and welcome back to Zero Escape 999, where last time we left off at not an ending per se, but a stopping point. We arrived at the 2 9 doors with everyone alive and Snake missing still, but we were unable to go through them. 7 proposed that the other 6 go through the doors, split into 2 groups of 3, and escape, leaving 7 behind. A noble sacrifice, but not one that anyone was particularly happy about. That said, before we could take up that offer, Santa objected. Santa objected quite viciously, as he pulled out a gun that he found beyond door 6, and at gunpoint, kidnapped June and forced Ace and Lotus to all go with him through one of the 9 doors, leaving the other 3, Junpei, 7, and Clover, behind and unable to open the other 9 door with their digital root of 7. As we left off, there was a coffin at an altar in the cathedral where the 2 9 doors are, and something is inside, knocking furiously, wanting out. But we have no idea how to open that door, or that coffin rather, and thus, we were stuck there. Nothing left that we could do, and so it was to be continued. In order to get to the true end of the game, we need to see one more final route. And this route brings us back to our very first choice. Door 4 or door 5? Well, we have seen what's beyond door 5 before. I still urge you to watch this episode and the next one, as while it will be technically repeated content, it is important to have the events in mind for what lies ahead on this route. Think of it as a refresher of sorts. It has been a long time since we saw what's beyond door 5 after all, and being reminded of what happens in this route will be pretty important even in these early escape rooms. After all, the events beyond door 4 in the second class cabin were pretty vital to that route. That's actually how we got Clover to have hope that her brother was still alive and eventually discover that he is still alive. So, perhaps the events just beyond door 5 will have a similar effect in this route. So, beyond door 5 we go. Hey, wait! Junpei's cry echoed across the room. The 4 people walking toward the door stopped, and turned back toward him. I want to go through door 5 too. The words were scarcely out of his mouth when June spoke up. What? What are you saying, Junpei? If you're going through that door, then I'm going with you. He turned around to look at her. No, you can't. I can't take you with me. Why? Well, you know what's in there, don't you? Are you sure you want to see that? June opened her mouth as if to say something, but instead closed it again and looked at the floor. Junpei felt an ache in his chest at her clear distress, but the choice was not his to make. There was nothing else he could do. Junpei turned away from June, doing his best to silence his turbulent emotions. Please, let me go into door 5. 7 scratched his head and looked at the young man. Man, now we're right back where we started, you know that? Junpei's bracelet number is 5, right? If we are going to add Junpei, then we must subtract 5 from the rest of us. Snake turned to Ace. Ace, please take good care of Clover. Oh, alright. That's fine. 1 plus 4 is 5. Don't go away. You need to listen to me, Clover. Go to door 4 with the others. No! Don't be so selfish. Snake's tone was harsh. Tears welled up in Clover's eyes. She bit her lip and did her best to fight them off. Snake's expression softened and he put his arms around Clover. He held her close and whispered into her ear. You'll be fine. Just relax. It looked as though he whispered 2 or 3 more words, but whatever they were, Junpei didn't hear them. He couldn't help but wonder what the other man had said. Snake pulled back from his sister, his eyes kind and inquiring. Okay, I understand. Her voice was barely audible from where Junpei stood. Before long, new teams were assembled. Those going to door 5 were 7, Snake, and Junpei. 7 plus 2 plus 5 is 14, 1 plus 4 is 5. Those going to door 4, Lotus, Santa, June, Ace, and Clover. 8 plus 3 plus 6 plus 1 plus 4 is 22, 2 plus 2 is 4. 7, Snake, and Junpei scanned their numbered bracelets in quick succession. The screen of the red showed 3 asterisks. Alright then, let's go. Junpei glanced around one last time, his hand resting on the lever of the red. Okay, please be careful. Concern was written plainly across her face. Don't worry, June, everything's going to be just fine. I will make it fine this time. Junpei looked her in the eye and gave what he hoped was a reassuring nod. He pulled the lever. With the sharp clack of a lock releasing, the door swung open. Ahead of them in the small hallway were the pitiful remains of the 9th man. For a moment, Junpei froze. Try as he might, his eyes would not leave the corpse and his feet would not leave the floor. 7, too, seemed paralyzed. Snake, on the other hand, seemed unconcerned. He walked calmly down the bloody hallway and only stopped when he realized his companions were not following. Do you intend to kill me? I assume you haven't forgotten the door only remains open for 9 seconds, have you? He hadn't even bothered to turn around. His head was, at most, slightly cocked towards one shoulder. Junpei and 7 looked at one another, nodded, and threw themselves through the door. As they did, a cold tone sounded from the left wrists of all 3 men. 7 and Junpei looked down at their bracelets. On both of them and on Snake's, a red skull had flickered to life. The detonator had begun its countdown. They had scarcely processed this information when... With a metallic slam, the numbered door behind them swung shut. Unless they could find the device that would deactivate the detonators on their wrists, they would not be leaving the hallway.
Hey, where's the dead?
The fear and urgency in 7's face reflected what all 3 of them felt. Junpei spun around, searching desperately for the dead. He found it easily enough. It was on the wall, next to the closed door labeled 5. It is very funny how through the 5 door it is right there, through the 4 door you gotta sprint to the end of the hallway. Kinda mean, Zero. Found it. Right here. As he yelled, he struck the scanner with his hand. The other 2 scrambled to follow suit. As soon as he finished, Snake threw the lever down. Phew. Well, it looks like it stopped. As he spoke, Junpei wiped the sweat from his forehead with a trembling hand.
Goddamn thing's gonna give me a heart attack.
A muscle stood out in 7's neck and the corners of his mouth were twitching. Hey, at least it was an easy find. Junpei, are you alright? Are you guys okay? They could hear anxious voices, muffled but distinct from the other side of the door. Yeah, we're fine. The detonators have been deactivated. They heard relieved sighs, and even through the door, the 3 men could feel the tension disperse.
Alright, we're moving on. Be careful, okay?
Okay. Sure thing. They heard footsteps moving away, and before long they were alone again. Junpei looked around. The hallway hit a dead end 20 or 30 feet from where they stood. A thick iron wall blocked their way. Try as they might to force it, the wall refused to move. To the left, however, was a wooden door that looked positively inviting by comparison. I am noticing we did not give them information about the dead like Clover did when we went through the 4 door. Interesting. Just little slight changes like that. Clover's the one who would have thought to give that information. But no one else did. In the middle of it was a plaque that read First Class.
First class cabin, huh?
Well, it seems like it. Let's have a look then, shall we? Without hesitation, Snake opened the door and stepped inside. Seven followed closely behind him. Junpei moved to follow them as well, but he stopped, just short of the threshold, and looked back, not knowing why. Lying in the small hallway was a man's body, or at least what was left of it. He tried hard to avoid looking at the grisly scene, but it just wouldn't leave his mind. What had once been a man's internal organs now looked so much vomit, as though something had chewed up and spit out the better part of his torso. It was hideous, but worse still, it was cruel. It was hard to believe that the thing on the floor had once been human. The black pool of thick blood, the lumps of glistening flesh spread across the floor, the awkward, twisted tangle of shredded intestines, the head wrenched to some grotesque, unnatural position. Still hate that. The man's glasses lay next to his head. The lenses were cracked and the frame bent and distorted. And next to the glasses lay a bracelet, the number 9 still displayed on its face. Lastly, let us discuss how to remove the bracelets. There are only 2 ways to do so. 1, you escape from this ship. 2, your heart rate reaches 0. In other words, once the bracelet is taken outside the confines of the ship, or detects that its wearer's heartbeat has fallen to 0, it will shut down automatically. Suddenly, Junpei felt his stomach convulse and a knot of muscle gripped his throat. He clapped his hands over his mouth and ran to the first-class cabin. Yeah, it's horrific. The atmosphere changed immediately. The room was gorgeous, and despite the apparent age of the ship, none the worse for wear. He looked around. Seven and Snake were nowhere to be seen. There were 2 doors on the right side of the room. He opened the one on his right and went through. On the other side of the door was a short hallway. He jogged down the hallway, opened the door at the other end, and peeked through. There they were, to his right, busy examining something. He stepped through the door and walked toward them. "What's up?"
Check this out. We found this thing here on the door.
"The red light's on. Does that mean it's locked?" "So I would assume. Is there any other way out?"
We looked around a little. Other than this door, we didn't find anything.
"So you're telling me that unless we can open this door, yes, we won't be going anywhere." Junpei stepped away from the door and looked around the room. The room they were in looked like a bedroom. He figured the room he'd originally entered was a living room or whatever passed for one on a ship.
Alright, let's find a way to open this door. Come on, guys.
Alright, let's begin. We have done this escape room before, so it should not be too difficult to do it once more. Well, I've done it many times, once for every route that involves going through the 5-door, but we don't need to worry about that. We got our score plate right there. It took Junpei by surprise. Snake, usually so calm and collected, suddenly began to move. He stared about the room almost frantically, clearly looking for something. No, Junpei thought, not staring. After all, he's blind. Blind or not, Snake was clearly attempting to do something. At last, Junpei could no longer contain his curiosity. "What are you doing?" Snake waited a moment before answering. "I heard something strange." "Something strange? Oh well, never mind. It doesn't seem to be anything suspicious. I don't wish to toot my own horn, but my auditory senses are considerably more advanced than those of most humans. I notice even the slightest of noises." "Right, are you gonna tell me you can hear a needle drop from a mile away?" "Ha! No, such a thing would be impossible. However, by listening to the sound of footsteps and breathing, as well as the sound echoing off the environment, I can locate most objects." "Oh yeah, that's right. When Clover fell in the big staircase a little while ago, you were at her side immediately. So that was... Yes, I could hear it happening. In fact, I can run quite fast, certainly as fast as you. And should someone attempt to start a fight with me, I'm quite confident that I could defeat them." Junpei was somewhat taken aback by this revelation. He stared at Snake, skeptical. "You don't believe me, do you?" "Now hold on. Snake, you go missing. not too long from now. But you're confident you could take someone in a fight, and you can hear things that other people wouldn't, so you would probably know if someone was coming up behind you or something like that. Huh. You don't believe me, do you? Care to give me a try? I must warn you, you'll no doubt regret it. Well, I suppose that's enough playing around. Let's resume our search, shall we? With a small, self-satisfied smile, Snake turned and walked away from Junpei. Okay, next up, let's continue our investigation. We've got a map of the ship over here. What's this? This isn't a score. Is this a map of the ship? A map! There is a map of the ship here. Yeah, then I imagine it will prove very helpful. You'd best hold on to it, Junpei. Okay. Alright, got our map. Next up, I want to say this room. We've got the safe is locked.
It's one of those dial locks. It doesn't have a key. We just need to get the dials in the right place and it'll open.
Did you find anything, Seven?
Nope. How about you, Snake?
I also found nothing. Did we use that safe at all when we solved this puzzle? I don't think we touch it at all. A leather suitcase? There's nothing inside. I can tell by the weight, and it makes no noise when shaken. Good for you, show off. Alright, next room. We've got the bathroom, but I'm gonna hold off because we need the pot first. It's a heavy piece of paper that's been folded in half. It has score printed on the front of it. Score, that's gotta mean musical score. If that's true, then the score we just found was probably in here. At least at some point. Yeah, we just gotta find the other parts. Don't touch that yet, don't touch the fireplace yet, we will regret it.
I get it, you're gonna use the vase, right? That's pretty clever, Junpei. We just gotta fill this thing with water.
What? What are you talking about?
Oh man, you don't get it? Just grab that vase and take a look around. You'll figure it out soon enough.
Yeah, I got it, Seven. Don't need to make fun of Junpei for something he did in a completely different route. There's our third score plate. Was it 4 or 5? It was 4 that we needed. Now we can go fill this with water. Wait, hold on. That was not the vase that I had out.
Is there ash or something in this water? It looks kind of gray.
Let's just pull the plug.
No, hold on. Maybe we can, I don't know, use it for something?
Use it for something? Junpei, please. Just because I forgot doesn't mean you have to. The bathtub is full of gross, cloudy water.
Yeah, if we fill the vase up, then we can toss it.
Huh? Not really sure what he's saying. Whatever. Let's just get this vase full of water. Yeah, Seven has already solved this puzzle. There's a plug on the end of this chain. Alright, why don't we just drain this water?
Yeah, good plan.
Alright, where's that thing? A good tug ought to be enough to get it out. Huh? Right, it was 5 because in addition to the 4 plates, we also need the backing. And the backing is what's in the fireplace. Alright, let's get... Oh, god damn it. I went right past it. Let's get that vase out. Dump it on the water. Alright, time to put this fire out.
About time, buddy. Let's do it.
Here we go. Good news, Junpei. I redeemed you. You did not stick your hand into a fire and touch a metal grate.
Ha ha ha. Good job. Another success. That fire didn't stand a chance.
Seven, you are really enjoying this. Alright, I'll just pull this out now. Don't want to get burned, so let's pull down the sleeves. And we got our score plate. As Junpei tucked the plate into his pocket, Seven cried out and stumbled, his balance lost. He threw out a hand and caught the wall in time to steady himself and avoid the floor, but his face was flushed and he looked startled. Hey Seven, what the hell was that? You alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. I just felt a little dizzy, that's all.
Seven rubbed a couple of fingers across his brow and then shook his head as if to clear it.
What the hell's wrong with me? First memory loss, now I'm getting dizzy for no reason.
Memory loss? Junpei couldn't hide the surprise in his voice. Seven, for his part, seemed unconcerned.
Right, I guess I haven't told you, have I? Told the rest of them, but that must have been before you showed up. Well, the long and short of it is that I don't remember jack from before I woke up here. Didn't realize I hadn't told you.
Whoa, wait a minute. You're talking about amnesia, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, why are you an amnesiac? What happened to you?
If I knew that, I wouldn't really be one, would I?
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. Junpei paused for a moment and stared at Seven. Are you telling the truth?
Huh?
Well, you look pretty calm for somebody who doesn't remember anything. If you've really got amnesia, shouldn't you be, like, upset or confused or something?
Well, sure, I mean, I was pretty confused when I woke up down on D-Deck, but that was a while ago. I've had some time to get used to it. After a while, I figured it wasn't worth the trouble of worrying about it. After all, why worry about something I can't change? Well, people usually don't stay amnesiacs forever. I figured it'll work itself out eventually.
That's it?
That's it. Alright, that's enough talking for now. Let's get back to work.
Junpei, you really gotta chill. Seven gave Junpei the look the younger man wasn't sure how to interpret and turned to walk away. Somehow, though, Junpei didn't find his reassurances very reassuring. Okay, now we can go solve the puzzle and get out of here. And yeah, we don't touch that safe at all. Interesting. I wonder what it's for. A music stand seems as good a place as any to put the music we found. Just gotta put the ceramic plate on the bottom, and then stack the glass plates on top of it. Alright, good. Sweet. Now I can play the music. Junpei, would you be so kind as to play the piano? I am unable to, you see. I'm sure I didn't tell you, but the keys on this piano are not what you might expect them to be. C won't be C, D won't be D, and so forth. You must listen carefully to determine which keys to strike. Do you understand? Yeah. Alright, let's give this a shot. Okay, so I remember the first row is 1, 2, 3, 4. Going down like the middle 4 keys of the piano. Just to check. Okay, that's 2, so we start from 1 over there. So I can use that to decode the rest. 1, 3, 2, 1. 2, 1, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3, 2, 1. 2, 1, 3, 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. Every time this plays, I get nostalgia for when I was a little kid, because that was the doorbell at the at my house when my family first moved into it and I was like 8 years old. It was a good doorbell. It's a classic. And we're done. Music is not my forte. Wait, what was that noise? Junpei, we did it. Looks like it worked. I heard something unlock over by the exit. Let's go. Good plan.
Stand, bow, be seated.
Well, I guess he hasn't forgotten that. At least Snake thinks it's funny. Yes, I suppose that was the classroom bell, wasn't it? I don't imagine that's what Zero was thinking of, however. No, Zero almost certainly meant to suggest Westminster, would not middle school.
Westminster?
The palace in London that plays host to these days to the Houses of Parliament. You've heard of Big Ben, the famous clock tower, yes? Big Ben plays that very collection of notes on the hour.
London, the capital of England, huh?
At any rate, the door is now unlocked. Let's leave this place immediately. Alright, sounds like a plan. And with that, we're in familiar territory for now, but we will soon come upon new content with some very important new information. So I will see everyone next time as we return to the casino. Alright, let's go.